If you're a working woman in your 30s or 40s planning IVF for conception in the next 3 to 6 months, and most of the nutrition advice you've heard so far is eat healthy and lose a little weight, then this video is for you. Because here's the truth. If you go into IVF with chronic inflammation, blood sugar all over the place, and random healthy detoxes thrown at you, you can follow your medical plan perfectly, but still have your body working against you. To be very clear, your doctors in clinic are in charge of the medical side. My job is to help your nutrition support the treatment that you are getting. If you're dealing with infertility and going through an IVF procedure, template diets are not for you. Eat healthy, cut carbs, eat more green leafy vegetables is not a strategy to improve egg quality or support a successful embryo transfer. I'm Ahalya, a fertility-focused clinical dietitian. I work specifically with busy working women going through IVF, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through a clear, science-based IVF nutrition roadmap. What to focus on in the weeks before IVF and what to focus on during stimulation and embryo transfer, so you can support your body alongside the treatment. Let's start with why generic advice fails with IVF. Most advice is built around weight loss and BMI. But if you're focused only on BMI, then you've already lost the battle. Two women can have the same BMI, but have completely different levels of inflammation, insulin resistance, gut health, nutrient status, and reproductive performance. It's not only calories in versus calories out, especially when conception is in play. Incorrect intake of macro and micronutrients, vitamins, minerals alters your energy balance and hormones. That directly affects how your ovaries function and how your endometrium responds to the treatment. You're already doing the hard part. The injections, the scans, the emotional roller coaster, all on top of meetings, deadlines, managing a house, managing a family. Nutrition is the only lever you control every single day. On top of that, alcohol, smoking, pesticides, endocrine disruptors are all around us in everyday life. They increase the oxidative stress and inflammation, which are tightly connected with infertility. Now, here's the part that nobody explains. Chronic low-grade inflammation is a defining characteristic of many reproductive issues, not just a symptom. It directly dictates the biochemical conditions in which an embryo must grow. If you have an autoimmune issue like Hashimoto's, or you have blood sugar problems, insulin resistance, PCOS, diabetes, thyroid, endometriosis, or fatty liver, your body is already dealing with background inflammation. Inflammation and oxidative stress are in a vicious cycle with each other. More inflammation produces more free radicals. These free radicals damage cells, including the egg and sperm. And this damage triggers even more inflammation, round and round. Inflammation also alters blood coagulation. Coagulation is a part of how the embryo and endometrium communicate with each other during implantation. If that system is off, the implantation can be impaired even if the embryo looks really good. That's why in my clients, I care about fat mass way more than BMI. Excess body fat, especially around the belly, visceral fat, behaves like an inflammatory organ, causing constant inflammation. So the goal is not to crash diet and lose 4 or 5 kilos here and there. The goal is to gradually reduce the inflammatory fat mass from your body and calming the chronic inflammatory state that you are in. Just to make this real, I've had working women come to me after very difficult cycles, high inflammatory markers and insulin resistance. Alongside their medical treatment, we changed the environment their body was providing. We lowered inflammatory fat, stabilized blood sugar, corrected key deficiencies, and their next cycle felt completely different in energy, numbers, and the experience of the process itself. That is the power of aligning nutrition with your treatment. Let's talk about what to actually eat and focus on in the IVF window. Think of this in 2 phases. Phase 1, the 8 to 12 weeks before stimulation, and Phase 2, during stimulation and around embryo transfer. Phase 1, before IVF. Here, the goal would be to lower chronic inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, correct key nutritional deficiencies, and stabilize your gut health. These are the key nutrients that I look at in all my clients who are going through an IVF procedure. Folate and choline for methylation, cell division, and early development. Zinc and magnesium for hormone balance, egg quality, and stress resilience. Vitamin D because deficiency is incredibly common, especially in Indian women. Fiber per day for better blood sugar management and for improved gut health. Omega-3 fats and a ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 a lot of times is close to 10:1, which is extremely inflammatory and dangerous in its nature. And talking about fats, they should be mostly unsaturated fats, focusing on MUFAs and PUFAs, low saturated fat content, and practically zero trans fat. This is extremely crucial because a lot of generic diets either say completely cut out the fats or they say add healthy fats. Now, when you are going through an IVF procedure, the ratio between the different fats in your diet makes all the difference, especially the ratio between polyunsaturated fatty acids and monounsaturated fatty acids. And this is extremely crucial and it has to be individualized. And at the same time, you want to strip out the trans fatty acids by minimizing ultra-processed food and sharply reduce the big sugar hits that spike insulin. High insulin levels and insulin resistance create an unfavorable environment in the ovaries. Reducing the amount of circulating insulin can help reduce the hormonal imbalances and support better ovarian function. If all of this already feels like a lot to remember, then don't worry. I've put all of these pre-IVF targets in a checklist made specifically for working women above 30. You can download that from the link below in the description box. Keep listening now and grab the checklist later. Let's come to phase 2, which is nutrition during stimulation and embryo transfer. In this phase, the goal is stability and protection. We keep the anti-inflammatory protocol from phase 1, but we shift the focus slightly. Steady energy, regular meals which are built around protein, healthy fat, and fiber so that your blood sugar stays stable throughout the day, hydration and gut regularity. Enough fluids and fiber so that you're not dealing with constipation, bloating, diarrhea, and any discomfort on top of everything else. And hopefully no extra gas and awkward moments either. Antioxidant protection. Lots of antioxidant-rich foods. Make sure that oxidative stress and free radicals remain the lowest possible. Now, obviously, alcohol is a big no-no during both these phases. Alcohol adds oxidative stress, interferes with hormone balance, and implantation. And it simply isn't worth the trade-off during these short, intense phases. Now, caffeine, my recommendation to all my IVF clients is to completely cut it out. You are already under treatment stress, work stress, life stress. We want deep sleep and a calm nervous system, good blood flow and maximum nutrient absorption. So instead of relying on caffeine to push through your day, we build energy through food patterns, blood sugar control and sleep hygiene. 2 more really important pieces for working women going through IVF. First is dairy and hormones. Nowadays, the milk is so adulterated, and milk also contains androgen precursors, male hormone precursors. It would be the best to reduce dairy, specifically cut out milk during these 2 phases. Second key aspect is your gut health. Your gut and immune system are very tightly linked. And you may not know this, but your immune system plays a very big role in implantation. You don't need an extreme detox cleanse. You need a solid foundation, which, agree, can sometimes feel boring. Fiber-rich, minimally processed meals, easy to digest, which you are able to eat consistently around your work schedule. I know this is a lot to take in, especially when you're working full-time and going through IVF. But here's the bottom line. You're already taking all the medication required, going through a huge emotional and physical battle. The best thing you can do nutritionally is to use a specific data-driven framework, which is individualized to you, to your lifestyle and your blood work, and replace the guesswork. Support the treatment. We look at your blood work, your symptoms, your current eating pattern, your lifestyle, and we use that data to design your nutrition strategy. Rather than relying on vague guidelines like eat 5 portions of fruits and vegetables in a day, hoping and praying to God that it's enough. You need a personalized diet, a realistic one that fits your workload, your blood reports, and your treatment plan. If you're a working woman over 30, you're starting or thinking about starting IVF in the next 3 to 6 months, you don't want to wing it with your nutrition and remove the guesswork, here's what to do next. Download the IVF nutrition checklist under this video in the description box. Go through it. See where your biggest gaps lie. If you want my help in closing those gaps, fill out the short application for the one-on-one IVF nutrition coaching. If you qualify, then on that call, I will look at your blood work, your current eating patterns, and your treatment timeline. And I'll tell you exactly what I do in your situation so that your nutrition and medical plan are working in the same direction. If it makes sense, we'll work together. If not, you'll still leave with a clear direction. If this video was helpful, then hit like, subscribe, and share it with another working woman going through IVF.